What could the say ever? Which one will say? I believe her. I totally believe her. That's true. Mark, it's about 10 million a year. I think. I mean, but then personal to attorney list and takes a cut.
Well, it's not been on the balance that he's much at the.
I was like the law hawk came out. Remember him? It was like dude up in Fort Worth, criminal defense commercial. His things were so funny. And he got on his bowl after talking about it. All right. Okay. All this relationship. This line was created for everyone more understood what required. Right. I think still express or actually have a written document with your client, and then there's implied agent. The same thing for me. If I go be a metal legal and start work and create that I'm actually so this for you guys. So nuance. If you have to sign a buyer's agreement, every buyer can there ever be way? Because you have to express every. Where's the inner lab? That's what only time implies is the buyers. They're claiming you represent, and so it's going to be in some work. And so that's just a lien that you guys know about, or some claim against. And then the issue is an agreement with the buyer. Are you really reverent? Are you really a son of the seller? That's what we're going to get. If you're helping us procure a buyer, you don't agree with the buyer, clear that you represent the buyer's interests, then you're really a son of the seller. Now you're person. Now buyer's going to have like claims. Seller's going to have claims against free sure. You're going to be caught with the broker that I was telling that the boy really good. Made me really
When I was a brand new agent, the first thing I would do when I would get in front of someone was get a buyer's representation. And I thought that was like a contract. Like I would get so excited that I got a buyer's representation. And now it's like it makes you uncomfortable sometimes to just like ask it. Well, because of Zillow, like you meet them for the first time and they're like, so like, oh, we don't want to sign it. But in the beginning, that's all I did. And I remember I had an agent when I busted out a folder and I had like 10. And he was like, that's really doesn't matter, you don't really need that. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
I don't like whenever you have like buyer representation or list, you can always put in writing, an email, and a text. So what are the consequences to the buyers? Do they make you work for 2 for 1? You don't show up for an appointment one day because you're scared. I don't want to work anymore. You already put into it 3 months.
The question. Reach time the person. Most of the time, this is for sure. You look at no contrast. It's the first client. It will leave forms. You don't have. I believe, correct if I'm wrong, a buyer rep agreement is. I think that is permit form. Think of brokerage created convert buyer rep agreement, which means the contract. So what is the contract? I don't know.
It's so like
It's already procuring cost when
Yes.
introduce you to property and then you fire me and then you go ahead and do that.
Yes, and you enter a number on that paragraph, and I always put 90, and it says if I'm a procure card
Within 90 days.
within 90 days.
Within 9. So that's some protection. With properties you
what?
They monitor them.
so it's on Showtime. That
No,
clock or
you
whatever.
have to register it. The property thing that they were originally they were fee and they just but now they right. When you register with the list, yeah, so they know you were the person that brought it.
Oh, really?
No.
I've never done it.
Well, this is
I've been fired once, and I was like,
this is why we talk about the. That's a great practice.
But how many?
I would also, I would tell listing. Do you know what that does to the listing?
that is interesting to know that, because if you're the listing agent and you're like, you go back and you're like, oh, well, she registered they we just take him to another property.
Portion. Now, a listing agent enforces interference. That is, I held someone else breach their agreement.
Wow. You know, when I got little a couple of years ago, I couldn't get some of the people to give me enough information to register. They would come see it with real.
Right.
I mean, they would maybe give me their name or have their name, but they wouldn't tell me the rules or whether they'd working with it. She wanted to have
Let's go over that again. I need to understand. And let me tell you this early on law school. When you're in a court of law with arguing, attorneys are on both sides. You can get very spell it out. You're the one, then they hire you.
on the class movie on. I mean, I would assume she's
Here's the deal. Of course, if I said to a lawyer, I think there's 2 procuring costs you might have gotten. I think technically the buyer owes commission because you both pretty ready. Procuring clause and already willing. But this person really is the one and a priority. And I do think can procuring cause be defined in way. But I think of this buyer's rubber agreement for purposes of this procuring cause includes property. That's like a.
Did your instructor say that was the case? Like, if she didn't have a buyer's rep agreement? Because I think that's essentially what the buyer's rep agreement protects her from. So, yeah.
Yeah.
right. You know, they
So if she didn't have it, I think that would be the case. But since she has it, then that protects her,
There's still
right?
You could argue. It's a way to let's be real. A lot of this stuff, I'll tell you, with realtors, and this great, you're not going to see even with advice over like you're not going forward. It's just so you guys are insulated in the ordinary course from a lot of liability. I would say the dollar would make it worth it. In a case, our the listing list land shut with like a star right next to the highway. Right next to the highway, I can get my trucking business and again it come to find out that that was not where the link landlocked.